To begin the rocket movie, go to animatron.com and click on Studio. You can hit try for free. When you get in, you want to make sure it's you. If not, whoops, let me try this again. If not, when you hit login, just click on the colorful G, okay? And that should get you in with your Frontier Academy account. So now that you're in, you can hit start creating, and again we want the studio version, and we're in here. Now if you don't have projects, this won't show up, and what you'll do is just hit start creating. I'll take a rocket that's empty, a rocket movie. So when you first get in, it'll probably come into light mode, and what you want to do is change that to expert right up here in the top middle. There's two options when you're in here. Just stay on animation. We're not going to use any of these, so I'm just going to hit back to that. So what we want to do first is to draw a rocket, okay? So I'm going to use the paintbrush to draw an outline of the rocket. I'm going to use gray for the outline. And the size is 10 is about right. Smoothness, I put around 10 as well. That'll help make your drawing look a little bit better. And so we're drawing a cigar style rocket. So I'm going to draw one side this way, and then click and drag on this side, and then complete it at the bottom like this. I'll put in a little window here and maybe divide the rocket right there. We'll put a couple of stabilizer fins on here. And I'll divide that as well. You'll notice you get a lot of layers over here. That's okay, we're going to group it in just a moment. I'm going to give the rocket color by using the paint bucket and picking out some colors here. So I'm going to go with that rocket right there. And again, you have just a whole bunch of layers here. What you can do is take the selection tool and highlight over the entire drawing of the rocket. That selects all these layers. And then you want to right click. If you hold down the Alt key on a Chromebook, you'll get this. And you want to convert it to a movie clip. This is like grouping it. You'll now notice it turns into one layer. Just so you know, you can get back inside the rocket. If you double click on it, right now my scene is called Takeoff. Yours probably is called Scene 1. Just say Takeoff would be fine. And make that a 5. That'll make your movie 5 seconds long. So what I wanted to say was, if you double click on this rocket, you're now, if you look up here in the top left, you're inside that movie clip. Now the canvas is gray, and so you don't see the outline, which is kind of creepy. But if that ever happens to you, just know that you need to go back to the scene, and that's called Takeoff here, or Scene 1. Okay, so now we're going to deal with the rocket in just a moment, but right now I want to hide it and lock it. And so what you do is you click right beneath the eyeball on that layer, that'll hide it, and then click beneath the padlock right here, and that should lock it. And you'll know it's locked if it has these diagonal lines on it. Now I'm going to draw just some grass and some sky. And I'm going to use the shape tool over here. I need a rectangle, so I'll click and hold on the little triangle next to that shape and choose rectangle, and I want it to be blue for sky. So about the top 2/3 will be blue. And you notice this comes over here. I can call that sky, and I can lock it so I can't hurt it. I need another shape, another rectangle for grass down here, so I'll come back and change the color to a green, and I'm going to draw out a section for grass. And I don't know why that didn't take the name. That is sky. enter. And this is grass, enter. And I'll lock that. Now, if I bring back the rocket, you'll go, well, where is it? It's actually hidden behind grass and sky. And so what we need to do is move the rocket up above. So I'm going to call it rocket. And if I put the rocket, drag that layer, click and drag and let up, it'll put it on top. Now I'm still at 0.0, and I'm going to unlock the rocket now. Notice I could change its order by dragging it, even though it's locked. So I'm going to take the selection tool now and put my rocket where I want it to start to take off. And something like this. You can make it smaller if you need to. And here's how you make it move. Well, it's a 5-second long video. And again, this is the end of scene marker. You can control it that way, and the number will change over here. Or you can control it with a number. I'm going to put it at 5 seconds. For the first 2 seconds, I don't want the rocket to move at all. So I'm going to move my timeline marker to 2.0. And I'm going to right-click, that's Alt-click, and insert a keyframe on that layer at 2.0. So right here, the rocket doesn't move at all. Now, from 2 seconds to 3.5, that's going to be my takeoff. And so I'm going to move my timeline marker to 3.5. I'm going to put a keyframe there. It's at this keyframe I move the rocket up and off the stage. If it helps, you can come here and zoom out a bit. And so at 3.5, I'm just going to take the up arrow key and move my rocket up off the stage like that. The effect that you get when you hit rewind here is that the rocket sits there and then it takes off. Okay, and that's scene 1. Now, you can add something known as easing. If you click anywhere in between these two keyframes, you can right-click in here, and one of the choices you have, and it's not showing up, let me move my screen a bit. There we go. Let's try that again. So you click anywhere in between these two keyframes. Oops, look like I moved them a bit. There we go. Right-click and say Set Easing. This will pop up, and you want to uncheck out. And I used circle. And what that does, it kind of shows it's tugging against gravity before it really starts taking off. And it's a subtle thing, but it does help. So hit back. And that's scene 1. If you click on this little cogwheel here, this would be a good time to name your movie. Call it Rocket. And hit enter to accept that. And then you can also click on this little guy right here, and that will show a preview of your movie. And it should be one scene here. And there goes the rocket. Now, if you look at the other movie for scene 1, I did do like a building here, which would be another layer at 0.0. You could have a cloud move across the screen and things like that. But I'll let you learn more about that with looking at the other video. So that's a rehash of scene 1.